topic, but I find it ironic and interesting to draw this parallel right now. Organizations win championships. MJ says, no, I never seen an organization go out there and play. And MJ is right. Krause is right, too. They're both right. We just saw the Spurs have one of the greatest organizational runs of all time. And it's organizational greatness backed by generational talent, which is what the Bulls essentially have before Krause forces all of this to end. I think it's very interesting that the Hornets have been so organizationally dysfunctional. I mentioned that because what Fred said, right? MJ would never do anything that wasn't the greatest. The sneakers, the greatest. You'll never see a basketball player with this sneaker, with the sneaker presence that MJ has. You know what I mean? There's just not enough time to create a legend like this. There can only have been him. But to watch how his organization is run now, it's maddening. But I think that comes back to one of the points, Vic, that we spoke about great players don't make great coaches, don't make great GMs, apparently don't make great owners. What did you think about that Jerry Krause quote, at least? I mean, do you think he was valid for saying that?
No.
Okay.
In particular, as
I love disagreements, so let's go.
in particular, as someone whose responsibility is to build a team, or even like in the position as a coach. That's why you hear Phil say Scottie was the second greatest player, but he wasn't. Right? That statistically and just talent-wise, there was other guys who were better, but even so far removed from those teams, he's still doing his job. Like, you have to empower your players, or otherwise they don't want to play for you. And they already hated Jerry. Like, Mike hated Jerry the moment he got there. Right? It was never a good relationship. And then you heard with the whole Scottie thing. So no, he definitely shouldn't have said that. He could have said that there's a partnership. He could have said there's roles to be played by everybody, but not that players don't. Because in fact, technically and literally, players do.
Correct. That's true.
The other thing with Michael, though, is, and this is part of the reason why players like him don't actually do well outside of being players, is that his solution to every one of his problems was, I'm going to work harder, because he already had the physical gifts and skill to be better than everybody. The thing is, making a fadeaway jumper and evaluating talent and personality and understanding roles of the team and putting pieces together are totally different things. In fact, Jerry Krause, like a 5'6", 260-pound man, was much better and will always be much better at building a team filled with guys that look like and act like Michael Jordan, than Michael Jordan could ever be.
Yeah.
And like in the book, Michael Jordan, The Life, every time Krause traded for somebody or drafted a player he didn't want Jerry to draft, he would just bust their ass in practice so badly until they either quit basketball or asked to be traded.
Yeah.
And in fact, Michael was always pushing for people from North Carolina to be traded for or to be drafted. And like, out of all the people he played with, I mean, like Perkins and Worthy had good careers, but they got drafted before him.
Yeah.
After him, it was like Kenny Smith and Red and Doherty, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, all those other dudes would have just been footnotes.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
And all this history.
Doherty was never going to reach Pippen's.
Nah.
Oh, who knows? Maybe playing with MJ in the NBA turns Doherty into Hakeem. I don't know, but I don't think that's what happens.
Nah, man, he didn't have those gifts. Plus, it's like I don't like doing revisionist history with injuries.
No, yeah.
Right? And Doherty had those feet problems.
Correct.
So it's like, it's actually not a surprise at all that Michael sucks at being an owner / GM, especially if you know it. But yeah, Krause definitely should have said that. He put the nail in his coffin. With statements like that, where like he, as brilliant as he may have been, he was far too toxic and insecure to be around such giant egos all the time.
Insecure, that's a great word for exactly that. Fred, what do you think?
No, man, seeing someone who, with the context that, I did follow that team after everything blew up, and it was rough, man. I remember the Ron Artest, all that, and when when they got the baby bulls, Curry, I think it was a Tyson Chandler. Like, I remember all that, and it's just like they could not get it together.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of those things where I think he made these good decisions, but they were by luck sometimes. How many people are getting a Jordan, right? He's the greatest player. No one would ever thought he was going to do that. So, he did put in good pieces. He drafted Horace Grant.
Yeah.
He had these he did a good job.
He trades for Scotty. He trade for Dennis Rodman, Vic, or does he sign him as a free agent?
I don't remember. I think they signed him.
I think he's coming off the Spurs, which it just doesn't work out. And whether they trade for him or sign him, go ahead, Fred. I'm sorry, not to interrupt, but yeah.
No. But so he did. There were some good things he did, but there was a mentality that he was faulty. Yeah. It was faulty thinking, and he destroyed that. He destroyed the team, and then the team sucked for years. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And and they were getting top draft picks. They were like almost like the Browns for a while.
Yeah.
So, and I remember being like, oh yeah, this is the year. Like Ben Gordon, Kurt, and I'm just like, dang man, this team is really trash. Mm-hmm. And it was hard. It was actually really hard to watch. So, when you look at like someone like the Spurs, the Spurs have this, they had Tim Duncan, who's arguably, top 10 players of all time. Mm-hmm. So they did strike gold with him, but they understood they were able to keep that train going, right? Because they picked pieces that fit them, and then they were able to run with it. So, and then you kind of see that kind of not work with Kawhi, so you can't be perfect, but the fact that they even had Kawhi in the first place, they were still even to get juice them. So
that they traded for Kawhi. Not to make this into a Spurs dick sucking thing, but yeah, they traded they traded a guy that a lot of people like, George Hill, for Kawhi in a very questionable deal. So, but go ahead to your point. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but that was the thing. They noticed talent, and they saw talent that works with them. Like just quiet guys, that aren't the most boisterous. You got to think about all those people on those rosters over the years. They almost all are like the same people. Granted, some with a couple of different guys who are a little extra, but man, like I was just surprised, really seeing how dysfunctional that team was. And just the mentality that destroyed. I'm like, man, y'all could have kept going.
Yeah.
But the fact to think you were bigger than the players, which is now when we talk about when you were talking about LeBron earlier, it's hard to say LeBron is running the team.
Correct.
So, it's hard. You gave him like the wheels, the steering wheel to that ship, early. So I don't think, could he have ever worked with a Popovich or a Phil Jackson? I don't know, because it's, he's his own GM, so
and to that point though, to LeBron's fairness, and I've mentioned this before, that I've let go of his first exodus from Cleveland. The way he did it was not good. The way it looks when the last game you saw was on the Celtics, and the theatrics of taking off his jersey, all of that looks like shit. But I actually think it's more indefensible that he left Miami, because essentially what LeBron was leaving for was for a better organization. He said, this organization is dysfunctional. And that's been the case for the Cavaliers for a very long time. They did a shitty job putting a team around him. They couldn't attract free agents. He had enough. Now he gets better players. And then as soon as Cleveland has any ray of hope, he goes back to Cleveland. I find that more indefensible than him going to Miami. Miami was actually what he was looking for. So I think these are all valid points. One thing I do want to point out, I was about to create a string theory here where Jerry Krause, and I'm still going to fucking do it. It doesn't make as much sense, but it's going to make a little bit of sense. Jerry Krause was scouting for the Chicago White Sox. Now, I was praying that he was scouting for the Cubs. You know what I mean? So that I could say that he essentially the first carrier of coronavirus, except this is the Cubs curse. He brings the Cubs curse to the Bulls, fucks this up, and now are the Bulls cursed? Do we have a Bulls curse possibly? What do you think? Do you think that's possible? I'm sorry. Do you think it's possible? I couldn't breathe anymore.
Nobody's gonna think that that's possible.
That's that, Victor. You atheist.
No.
Not only is it possible, but it's likely, and in fact, it's happening. Jerry Rose's knees did not get sacrificed for you two non-believers to not believe there's not a curse there.